Hey everybody, we're back here again in the Iron Maiden album review series, and we're on our third album. But I just thought I'd go ahead and say that if you see any of this memorabilia, like my Eddie heads and Eddie Iron Maiden figures disappearing and stuff, I'm in the process of moving, so that stuff will all be back up. Once we get the new place or whatever. But and the moving process is not going to slow down these reviews coming out. They're going to keep on rolling. But I just thought I'd, point that out. But anyways, we're looking at the first Iron Maiden album to feature the legendary Bruce Dickinson, who is really the most notable Iron Maiden singer, and the one that, like, when people think of Iron Maiden, they think him. He's been in the band longer than any of the others, and he's really who put him on the map. And of course, that album, his debut album with the band, is none other than Number of the Beast. This would also be drummer Clive Bird's final album with the band, which, he's a great drummer. And I'd say his best drum work is on this album right here. But yeah, really, really cool, iconic album cover. Everybody knows that thing. It kind of controversial back in the day, scared off some people maybe from buying it, or made people's parents not want to buy it for their kids or whatever, but really amazing album cover. But anyways, we'll go ahead and hop right in with, you open up with the first track Bruce Dickinson appears on, is Invaders, which is a really cool song. I've heard a lot of people don't really like that one, but I think it's pretty cool. Has kind of a cool, like, up and down the scale kind of, riff during the chorus, which I like. And, and Bruce's vocals, hell of a way to demonstrate what he's about right off the bat with a really fast opening track. Then you have one of my big time favorites off this album, Children of the Damned. It starts off kind of like with that acoustic intro or clean intro, and I just love that acoustic part, like during the verses and stuff, and Bruce is just belting out just incredible notes and hitting these highs. And then, of course, you get to the chorus where you thought he was hitting high notes during the verses. He just takes it to another level. Oh, man, that is one of the best tracks off here. Giant highlight in their discography. Then we've got The Prisoner, another one that's it's just freaking incredible. That is another just great song. The chorus is super hooky. And I love the lyrics in this and the funny kind of little intro they have going on there. Then you get 22 Acacia Avenue, and just, again, another incredible track. If you notice these album reviews so far, like from the first album, then Killers, and then now this one, just great song after great song. That's what kind of band these guys are. But 22 Acacia Avenue, another really cool one. But I'd say maybe my least favorite offside one would maybe be Invaders, although, like I said, I really do dig it. Then side two, you get to the title track, The Number of the Beast. One of their big songs. I love that riff. It just sounds almost like the way I describe it, it just sounds storytelling. Really the song is telling a story about, I think it was Steve Harris who had a nightmare about being in hell or something like that, and he wrote that song about it, which is cool. It inspired the album cover and all that. But yeah, that song is just, it's heavy too. It's real heavy. It's got some badass lyrics in it, and it was one of the big songs off here. But the biggest song off here, and one of their most popular songs, period, is the iconic Run to the Hills. And, I do like a lot of songs off here better. Those two, Number of the Beast was actually the first Iron Maiden song I ever heard, then the second one was Run to the Hills, those two big ones. But, so I still do really like those, especially the title track. But Run to the Hills, it kind of, over the years, you hear it a lot. It doesn't, I don't hold it as high as maybe I used to or whatever, But, it's definitely a great song, and I see why it was such a big hit for them. And still, they play it live and all that. Then you get maybe my least favorite off the album, Gangland, which it's not a bad song at all. None of these are filler. Just like I was talking about on Killers. And I think I said that about the first album. Where even the tracks that aren't as good as some of the others, they're not filler at all because they're freaking cool tracks that stand out. But yeah, Gangland's probably my least favorite off here. Then you get the grand finale, the epic Hallowed Be Thy Name. Oh my God, that is one of the best ones off here too. That track right there is just what Iron Maiden's about. This, you talk about the storytelling and Number of the Beast. This one really, it talks about a man on death row, and it has that big build up with like the bells going, and man, and the riff throughout this track just evolves and evolves. And then I love the parts, during the verses too, where all the instruments stop and you get Bruce singing his lines, and then it's like a freaking symphony the way this thing is constructed. And it's just a beautiful masterpiece of a Maiden track. Big fan of that. And, as you can see, there is just incredible tracks all over. It's for good reason Bruce's first album with the band is, highly regarded, because it just still stands up, and the production's freaking solid. The best produced album up to this point. A lot better production than the first two albums. You got incredible drumming work from Clive Burr for his last album here. Of course, the bass is kicked up from Steve Harris, which, I'll probably comment about Steve Harris' bass playing on all these albums because he just nails it. I love the bass on Number of the Beast in particular, the title track. And then, of course, Adrian Smith and Dave Murray, that tag team guitar duo just tear it up. But yeah, guys, this is for a third album. I mean, man, these guys have just not had a bad album. Their first one was awesome. Second one, awesome. Those two Paul Di'Anno albums are great, but then once Bruce comes in, it's just they blow you away. But yeah, next time, of course, we'll be looking at another really cool, iconic album with one of their biggest tracks, that being The Trooper. And that album is Peace of Mind. So I'm pretty hyped to be digging into that one. But yeah, I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on this iconic album. I'm sure most of it's all positive from everybody else. But thanks, guys, and like, subscribe, comment.